If the universe is expanding, or in the immortal words of Eric Idle, if the universe itself keeps on expanding and expanding, then what does it expand into? So Harry, I hear you ask, surely this is a question about cosmology. What's it got to do with writing stories? Actually, this isn't a question about cosmology at all. This question is fundamental to all writers because it's about what happens when you choose the wrong word. The problem is with the word expand, and it's incredibly unhelpful of physicists to have chosen it for this purpose. Unfortunately, language often just works this way. When a specialist needs a word for something, they will reach for the term that is close enough and easy enough to remember. The problem is that in every other use of the word expand, two things are happening. One, the thing that is expanding is filling with something. A balloon is being filled with air. My waistline, getting slowly but surely fatter, is filling with fat. Number two, seen from outside, the expanding thing is getting bigger, taking up more space. In fact, generally speaking, when we observe something to be expanding, it's because we're seeing it from the outside. 30 empty balloons fit into a tiny little plastic packet. 30 full balloons would cover the entire floor of my office. When a physicist says that the universe is expanding, she doesn't mean either of these things. So, the two most commonly understood meanings of the word expand are not, in fact, what a physicist means by expand. When the universe expands, if it could be said to have a size at all, its size doesn't change. What happens, in fact, is that everything in the universe is getting further away from everything else in the universe. The amount of space between any 2 points in the universe is steadily increasing. So far, so more or less imaginable. Unfortunately, the mathematics of general relativity shows that none of those things that are all getting further apart are actually moving. So, at this point, there's no longer any equivalent or any analogy in our day-to-day existence here on our tiny, tiny bit of the universe to help us to understand what's really happening. So you just have to accept it. But it's best to accept the expanding universe without trying to imagine it. After all, it's not expanding in any normal, everyday sense. And the lesson here for the writer is a lesson about the exotic words that you choose for your most interesting ideas and concepts. But it's also about the everyday words that you use in the context of your story and how readers might very easily get led into misunderstanding.